That's the one thing about our audience. They always want a new guy to break through the glass ceiling.
All you have to do is just be real.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. I am the jabroni beating, pie eating, trailblazing, eyebrow raising, talking is done, you're out of your class, no sleep till Brooklyn, The Rock whips your ass. Woo!
I wish you and King would quit talking.
Welcome to Around the Ring, episode 53 for today, Monday, January 25th, 2016. I am your host, Dave Brown. It is post-Royal Rumble, and one hell of a night that was last night. You know, I gotta say, because right off the bat, that was a great fucking pay-per-view. I think from top to bottom. Now, I didn't watch the pre-show. I heard that match was pretty awful. But from top to bottom, that was... Even with the wacky, kind of predictable ending, it was fan-fucking-tastic. Oh my god, it's so much fun. I'm really shocked that it was that good, considering the turds that the last 2 years Royal Rumbles have been. This was fantastic. We're going to get into all of that. Plus, we're going to talk about this last episode in NXT and Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor had a great episode this last week, and with a fan-fucking-tastic main event. We'll get to that a little bit later. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Royal Rumble, Orlando, Florida, which is, not, I don't think, traditionally known as being a hot or a smart crowd, but holy shit, man, that crowd was phenomenal, and we'll know why later. But the show opened up with Vince and Stephanie McMahon getting out of a car, arriving, get approached by JoJo. Vince makes a joke about JoJo's height, asshole. And so opening match, Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental Championship in a last man standing match. This was amazing. Oh my god. And this was the best match these two guys have had together, at least in WWE. And this was great. The crowd was so freaking hot through the whole match. Both guys were really over. I think Owens was over more so than Ambrose. But the place was just going ballistic. It was a good, long match. At one point, Owens put two tables stacked on top of each other on the outside of the ring near one of the turnbuckles, one of the corners. And looked like he was going to superplex Ambrose through it, but that didn't happen. And tons of crazy freaking spots. But Owens had set up a whole bunch of chairs and was going to do a looked like moonsault onto Ambrose from the top, but Ambrose jumped up and knocked Owens off the top rope, out of the ring, through those two tables, got the 10 count, and Jesus Christ, man, you talk about a match. I mean, just I can't imagine trying to follow that. It was just wow. Just fucking incredible. Jesus. We then had the New Day versus the Usos for the Tag Team Championship. The New Day came out, and oh my god, they were just brilliant. We have Francesca 2 has been debuted, and they were so over. The Usos came out and got booed. Now, when they did their whole Uso thing, they got responses, but really they were rained upon with boos when they came out. This was a fun match, and the New Day retains. The Usos were really kind of playing up heelish tactics in the match, so maybe they're getting ready for a heel turn at some point. Something needs to be done because the poor guys are getting kind of stale. Of all the matches I've seen these two teams have, which they've had a lot, this was probably one of the best. A whole lot of fun. The only thing that I think would have made this any better was at the end when the New Day was celebrating, had Big Cass and Enzo's music hit, and Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore came out and made their debut. That would have been the only thing to make that better. It would have been a great spot for it, but I mean, they're going to be in Florida for the next couple of days. Maybe it'll happen on Raw or SmackDown. We'll see. But again, this was just freaking great. Lots of fun. The next up match, we had Alberto Del Rio versus Kalisto for the U.S. title. It was funny. When Del Rio came out, he just looked like he did not care. He was just going through the motions. But once this match got going, this was a surprisingly good match. The other matches I've seen them have, the one during the World Title Tournament was pretty bad. The one where Kalisto won last Monday on Raw, was that last Monday? Or is it a week ago? Whenever Kalisto won the U.S. title. That was alright. I did not see the rematch on SmackDown. Excuse me, I was up too late last night. But this one was a lot of fun. Very good match. And even though there were a number of botches, but it was still fun. If I was going to have to say what was the weakest point of this entire pay-per-view, again, not including the pre-show, would have been this match. But that's not saying a whole lot. That's like saying, well, it's my favorite pizza company, it just wasn't quite cooked as good as it normally is. Type of thing. It was still good. In fact, there wasn't anything on this show that was awful. Next up, we had Becky Lynch versus Charlotte, accompanied by Ric Flair for the Divas title. Becky was super fucking over. And this was a good, long, back and forth match. The crowd was really into it. Charlotte won thanks to shenanigans from Daddy. And after the match, she proceeded to beat down on Becky until Sasha Banks' music hit and the place went berserk. Sasha comes out, kind of stands over Charlotte, kicks Becky. She and Charlotte do their old BFF hand thing, gesture, whatever. And as Charlotte's getting ready to leave, Sasha hits her with a bank statement and holds the title up over her prone, laid out body. Obviously, this is going to be leading up to something at WrestleMania. I really hope they do a triple threat match with Becky, Sasha, and Charlotte. That would be phenomenal. I'm using that word a lot. We'll know why here in a minute. But this match was excellent. I much rather would have seen Becky win, but it was excellent, and it continues the heelish Charlotte basically doing a whole, she's being like her dad. But what was great about this is they made it feel like a big deal. They gave them the big deal announcements, ring announcement, which they did not do for any of the other title matches other than the Rumble itself. And this had a big fight feel to it, and they gave it a lot of time, and those women go out there and they put on matches just as good as any of the men, and it was just fantastic. This wasn't a couple of models pretending to be wrestlers. This was two professional wrestlers who happened to be women kicking complete ass, and it was fantastic. So yeah, that was so far. I mean, up to that point, I was happier than a pig in crap, man. I was like, this has been great. But going into the Rumble itself, I was a little nervous. So they do the whole announcement. Roman Reigns comes out, showered in booze. Oh, it was kind of sad. And then number 2 ends up being Rusev, who was accompanied for a few seconds at least by Lana. Roman then eliminates Rusev. And then comes out, this was the best moment of the night, AJ Styles at number 3. and the place erupted. To quote Michael Cole, it really was thunderous. The place went just fucking apeshit for him. They didn't do a very good job on the camera angles because they kept focusing on Roman's face. So what you didn't see is when it's just this tight shot on Roman's face. He's like, who the fuck is coming out? Because he didn't recognize the music and he's looking at the Tron, and then someone else had recorded a fan angle and they edited it together and it was much better. But it then says that you get this wide shot of the Tron that says, I am phenomenal, and the place goes fucking berserk. AJ Styles walks out. The announcers treat him like he's a big deal. JBL, of course, does his whole thing. He's former IWGP champion, same title as Brock Lesnar held. WWE.com has since put up a couple of interviews with him. They have a story about AJ Styles, treating him like he is a huge fucking deal. And they should, man. He is a big deal. He is one of the, if not the best wrestler in the world today. And it's about fucking time he was in WWE. And he lasted like 28 minutes. Long time. So he and Reigns have this. Well, what was great is he did a nice slow entrance and some stare downs with Reigns, and for a second people thought Reigns was about to eliminate Styles and they just booed tremendously, but Styles escaped out of it, went for a Styles clash, hit a Pele kick, went for another Styles clash, and then eventually out came Tyler Breeze. Great, Tyler's in there. Tyler got to hit the beauty shot on Styles. He hit Roman with some good moves. He actually, looked pretty good for a minute there. And then Styles put him up in a fireman's carry and was about to throw him over the top rope. And then Roman, I think, I'm pretty sure he hit AJ. And that sent Breeze over the top. So Breeze was eliminated by both Styles and Roman. And there was a lot of pairing off at different points with AJ and Roman Reigns. And it was great. Curtis Axel came out next. He was then pretty much quickly eliminated by AJ Styles. Chris Jericho came out. Kane came out. The crowd's so completely behind AJ Styles for his whole thing. Tons of AJ Styles chants. It was just so loud. Goldust came out. Ryback then came out to showers of boos. Kofi Kingston comes out. And this is something that's interesting. One of the things I think, here, I'll get to that in a second. So Kofi came out, Titus came out, and he also got booed. Kofi got big cheers. Goldust was eliminated by Titus. R-Truth comes out, and this is one of the best damn moments. R-Truth comes running out. He pulls a ladder out from under the ring, sets it up in the ring, and literally all of the other wrestlers have stopped and are looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing? He climbs up the ladder and goes like he's going to grab the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then realizes, oh, it's not there. Oh, that's on me. My bad. R-Truth was then quickly eliminated by Kane. Luke Harper came out, and Luke Harper was a beast through this whole thing. At this point, the League of Nations came out with Vince from the side, and they pulled Roman Reigns out from under the bottom rope and attacked the holy crap out of him. To the point where there were 3 announce tables: the French, English, and Spanish. They laid Roman out on the French announce table, and Rusev runs across the other 2 announce tables, jumps and does a splash on Roman. Roman gets taken out of the ring area. They try to put him on a stretcher, but he walks out on his own because he's basically dead. Vince and the League of Nations are happy, so they leave. Stardust comes out. Oh, during all of that stuff with the League of Nations, Kofi Kingston was eliminated. Now, Kofi's big moment was he was about to get knocked out of the ring, and he lands on Big E's shoulders. So Big E carries him around the ring. They take someone's Coke, from the audience, and then he's eating popcorn, and then they didn't show it until like 4 or 5 minutes later, but he was eliminated by Jericho doing one of his I'm going to run up the ropes and hit a dropkick move. Big Show came out. Titus was eliminated by Big Show. Ryback was then eliminated by Big Show. Neville came out. Braun Strowman came out. There was a couple of really good stare downs with Strowman and Kane, and Strowman and Big Show. Strowman then eliminated Kane and the Big Show. Kevin Owens came out to a huge pop until he has a standoff with AJ Styles, and he eliminates AJ Styles, screaming, "Welcome to WWE, AJ." At that point, the crowd deflated, and as AJ is walking out, just huge AJ Styles chants. Dean Ambrose came out and to a nice pop, and he went right after Owens. Then Owens kind of knocked him aside. And then the second best moment of the Royal Rumble, Sami Zayn came out, and the crowd lit the fuck up. I mean, they were just right back. And Zayn went, and Owens just looked like he was about to lose his mind. So Owens comes out, hits the ring, or I'm sorry, Zayn comes out, hits the ring, goes straight for Owens, and then eliminates Owens. Eric Rowan comes out. Neville gets eliminated by Luke Harper. Stardust gets eliminated by Rowan and Harper. Mark Henry comes out. Henry then gets pretty much immediately eliminated by all three of the Wyatts. Zayn then gets eliminated by Strowman. And then everything in the match changes because Brock Lesnar comes out. He is just opening up suplexes, beating the piss out of people, doing these running knees. He eliminates Eric Rowan. Jack Swagger comes out. Jack Swagger is then immediately eliminated by Brock. The Miz comes out and gets on commentary, so he hasn't officially entered the match yet. Brock then eliminates Luke Harper, who was in there for a long time, and in this match, he had the second number of most eliminations with 5. He and Roman Reigns were tied for the most number of eliminations, but man, Harper was just a fucking beast in this match. Alberto Del Rio comes out. Strowman gets eliminated by Lesnar. Bray Wyatt comes out. And then as he's coming out, the Wyatt family surround the ring, attack Lesnar, and eliminate Lesnar, which leaves Bray in the ring. And that's pretty much the point where, Dolph Ziggler comes out, and that's the point where The Miz gets in the ring. He hits Dolph with a skull-crushing finale. Looks like he's going to, throw Dolph out. Sheamus music hits. He comes out, but on the way to the ring, Roman Reigns appears out of nowhere, and Superman punches the hell out of Sheamus on the walkway. Reigns jumps in the ring, eliminates The Miz. And what was funny is, so the crowd popped for him punching Sheamus and booed when he eliminated The Miz. Not that crowd likes The Miz, because no one fucking likes The Miz. But no one wanted to see Roman win. Del Rio was then eliminated by Reigns. And then number 30, Triple H music hits to a huge pop. Triple H comes out. He eliminates Ziggler. Then Sheamus and Triple H together eliminate Bray Wyatt. Jericho is eliminated by Dean Ambrose, and the final 4 are Roman Reigns, Triple H, Sheamus, and Dean Ambrose. Sheamus gets eliminated by Reigns. Roman then gets eliminated by Triple H. The crowd loses their mind because every time Roman Reigns did anything, they were pissed. And then so it comes down to Ambrose and Triple H. They have a good back and forth, but Triple H eventually eliminates Ambrose, and the crowd was not really happy. They were very much behind Ambrose. I think it was the whole, oh God, here we go again type situation with Triple H winning. What was funny for me watching this is I was about the point Del Rio came out. I paused it and I had to take a big dump. Not that anyone needs to know that. But then, got ready for bed, went and said goodnight to my daughter. I came up and I was going to finish watching it, and I hit play, and my feed decided to readjust itself, and it showed Roman Reigns, or showed Triple H standing with the belt on the ropes, and I was like, oh, huh, so Triple H won, which was a lot of people were predicting Triple H was going to win, but I was like, oh, okay. Whatever. And at that point I decided, you know what? I'm just going to go to bed. So I watched the remainder of the match this morning, and I didn't hate the ending. I much rather would have seen Dean Ambrose win. I think that crowd would have been much happier with Dean Ambrose winning. But it's not like this crowd was super pissed because, Roman Reigns didn't win. And it was a great Royal Rumble match. One thing I found was really interesting in this match is, one, you had no goofy people who just really, had no shot other than, say, a Jack Swagger. There weren't any Hornswoggle or El Torritos or Boogeymen or Hacksaw Jim Duggins entering the match. It was, for the most part, all current competitors, some of which are on the, kind of enhancement jobber level. But a lot of these guys had a really good showing. And there was a lot of newer talent. This wasn't the John Cena, Randy Orton show, which it so often is, despite the fact it did end with God, I keep saying Roman Reigns because I just assumed he was going to win, with Triple H winning. But they didn't kill the crowd. They did. They made AJ Styles look like just the fucking man. It was really freaking good. I had a great time watching this. I marked out like a motherfucker for AJ Styles and Sami Zayn. I laughed at the New Day. I laughed at R-Truth. I marked out like crazy for Sasha Banks when she came out. I was pissed when Becky Lynch lost. The spectacle that was the Last Man Standing match was fantastic. And I even enjoyed the U.S. title match. So this was top to bottom, great fucking show. And that's all there is to it. This was a great show. So that's the Royal Rumble. Let's see how bad they screw it up on tonight on Raw. Because, we can't put too much faith in these people. But for one night, my hat's off to you, WWE and company. You guys did a great, great fucking job. Thank you. Thank you for giving some hope and some renewed confidence in me being a fan. So I appreciate that. Let's talk about NXT. So NXT this week, Tom Phillips and Corey Graves are back doing the commentary gig. And we had the opening match was Sami Zayn against Adam Rose. Sami won via submission with the Koji Clutch. Pretty good little match. Johnny Gargano had a backstage interview. We then had an outside promo with Chad Gable and Jason Jordan, where they came up with the name American Alpha. I don't think I like that name very much. They could do better, but even just the Alphas or Alpha, I don't know. That just meh. We then had a match, Ty Dillinger against Apollo Crews, and this was a good match, man. This was a lot of fun. Crews got the win, and after the match, he cut a promo saying he wanted a match with Finn Balor. He said, "You know what? I know I haven't earned a title shot yet, but I don't like the fact that our match ended in disqualification, and I just want a match. It's not about the title." That was very cool. Very nice little promo in there. So good stuff. We then had Blake Murphy and Alexa Bliss doing a backstage interview, which was just... I love these three together, and especially Alexa Bliss as a heel. Just fantastic. I love it. The Vaudevillains had a little vignette showing they're obviously going heel. We then had pictures from a house show in Milwaukee where Kevin Owens confronted Sami Zayn. Baron Corbin was then in a match against Rich Swann, who the NXT crowd went nuts for. This was a really, really fun match. Corbin won with, I guess, a move called the Deep Six, which is kind of a spinning rock bottom. It's good to see that he has more than one move. But there was a moment where he gave Swann a back body drop. And Swann did a flip in the air and landed on his face. And after, when he's reeling, there's like drool coming out of his mouth. It was an amazing sell job. Man, Swann, this guy's freaking great. I can't wait to see more of this dude. There was Bayley and Carmella doing a backstage interview. They were then interrupted by Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson, who I just love more and more every day. They're fantastic. We then had Emma with Dana Brooke and Alexa Bliss versus Carmella and Bayley. This was a fun tag team match. Carmella and Bayley got the win. Carmella, with her submission hold, made Alexa Bliss tap out. There were some great back and forth, verbal jabs between Bayley and Dana Brooke. Bayley spent most of the match in there taking punishment. And at one point she just tells Dana to shut up. It was great. Then Finn Balor had a backstage interview. He said he talked to William Regal. He accepted Apollo Crews' challenge. So in, I guess, next week? Is it next week or in a week after that? They're going to have their match. I'm really looking forward to that. And then the main event was Johnny Gargano versus Samoa Joe. Joe got the win. And here's the thing that was... I found this match really disappointing in that it was too one-sided. Joe dominated this match way too much, and I know they're building to the Samoa Joe, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin triple threat match next week to determine the number one contender, and they're trying to make all three of these guys look strong. But Johnny Gargano is a guy who has a ton of potential. He's going to be a future star someday, and I don't see making this match as one-sided as it was being a good thing. This match should have been a lot more competitive because Johnny Gargano is freaking great. So that was NXT. Not much else went on, but it was a good show and really enjoyed it. And finally, we're going to talk about Ring of Honor this week, still in Philadelphia at the 2300 Arena. Kevin Kelly and Mr. Wrestling number 3 were on commentary. Commentary, can't talk. Opening contest was The Addiction with Chris Sabin against ACH and Alex Shelley. The Addiction win after a distraction by Sabin. This was a really good match. After the match, The Addiction are beating down Alex Shelley, but Chris Sabin looks, unsure of things because, Shelley is his former tag team partner. Christopher Daniels goes out and gets the hammer from the ring bell, threatens to hit Shelley with it. Ref is trying to take it away from him. Then Daniels hit the ref. Nigel McGuinness came out and said, you know what? There are consequences. We have a zero tolerance policy. Christopher Daniels, you're suspended without pay for a while. And the place went nuts. The ROH crowds really hate The Addiction. And man, they Addiction, Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, great heels. We then had Adam Page with Colby Corino and BJ Whitmer against Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe got the win. This was a fun match. Afterwards, BJ Whitmer did cut an in-ring promo. He calls out Mr. Wrestling number 3, telling him, he's saying, everyone knows you're Steve Corino. Whitmer is just showered in boos. I mean, that guy is, honest to God, the most hated man in professional wrestling. Mr. Wrestling number 3 gets in the ring, tells him that, look, I'm not Steve Corino, but I know Steve Corino's going to kick your ass, kind of thing. It was really good. And they're getting ready for the main event, and Silas Young comes out, and he's in regular clothes, and his hair's not all wet, because a lot of wrestlers wet themselves down before their matches. And I tell you what, Silas Young's hair is really poofy. But he cuts a promo on the outside of the ringside, about the boys and how they liked their time with him and all that. We then had the match of the week, possibly a match of the year candidate. The Kingdom, which was, in this case, Adam Cole and Mike Bennett, joined by Matt Taven and Maria Kanellis, versus reDRagon versus the Young Bucks in a Philly street fight. As reDRagon's coming out, the Bucks attack them, hit the ring. The ring announcer accidentally gets super kicked by Adam Cole. There's no way to describe the action in this match. It was just all over the fucking place. And, the Young Bucks ended up getting the win. AJ Styles did come out for the assist. This is probably the last time we see AJ on Ring of Honor television. He had, he did and he was at an event on this last Saturday, which was his final moment. There was a curtain call moment, and which there are videos for and pictures of all over the internet. But that was very cool. But excuse me, sorry, I'm talking fast today. Where's I going with this? But this match, just fucking amazing. Michael Bennett ate the pin. I'm pretty sure this is Michael Bennett's last appearance on Ring of Honor, since he and Maria Kanellis have now moved on to TNA. And I haven't watched, TNA, and I've gotten to the point where I like Michael Bennett enough that I might actually start watching TNA, or at least watching his parts on TNA, because I really do like him. I think he's a hell of a talent. But that was Ring of Honor, and that match is outstanding. You should go out of your way to see it. One final thing about the Royal Rumble itself that I think I forgot to mention is the fact, one of the interesting things, aside from the fact that none of the normal, kind of throwaway entrants, but some of the people who are on the current roster that didn't, there was only one member of the New Day entered. Only one of the Social Outcasts was in there. I just thought that was kind of interesting. And I thought the Rumble had a good mix of people. So, that's pretty much that. Oh, hey, tomorrow, Tuesday, over at WrestlingExpress.net, they're putting up a question. And Michael asked if I would like to give my thoughts on the subject. So I did write up a piece for Wrestling Express. And the question is, do you think that Vince McMahon does not honor NXT talent and what they did in NXT on the main roster because they are stars that he didn't create? Really good question. I'm really looking forward to seeing what people think. I wrote mine, and just to give you a little preview, I think in a lot of cases it has less to do with that he didn't create these people than they don't fit the mold of what he thinks a superstar should be. And we'll leave it at that, and you guys can read all about that when it comes out. When it does come out, I will make sure to get links posted on our Twitter, Facebook, and I'll post it on the website. Speaking of, don't forget to check out our website. Occasionally, I do post things other than just the episodes on there. I wrote a piece about WWE acknowledging Chris Benoit recently on there, and I can't remember if I've written anything else recently or not. But it's aroundtheringok.wordpress.com. Also follow us on Twitter at aroundtheringok, and like us on the facebook.com/aroundtheringok. If you have any questions, comments, or I am still looking for a permanent co-host. If you think you might be interested in joining me, that would be fantastic. Send me an email, aroundtheringok@gmail.com. And that's going to do it. It's short and sweet this week. It's amazing. When you have nothing but praise, you just don't quite talk as long. But by God, what a week of wrestling we had. Monday tonight should be interesting. And so, yeah, thanks for listening. Appreciate everyone that does. And as Jerry Springer always says, take care of yourselves and each other.
You've been listening to Around the Ring on the Spark Radio Network.
All you have to do is change your point of view. And believe.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. Damn! Woo!
This sucks more than anything that I've ever fucked before.
What? It's for charity.